In a hurry to see the deliberations?
Here on urgent business.
Your dress seems to confirm it. Excuse you indeed. I suppose I couldn't much care. I've heard what I came to hear.
And what, pray tell, was that?
The rightful heir will ascend to the Edirnian throne. There will be peace in the land. What more could one want?
Prince Stennis is here?
King Stennis. Crowned 2 days past in Vengerberg. Merely send a messenger here. All those present promptly agreed that he will make a good ruler.
Prince Stennis. A poisoner, coward, and schemer. He trembled with disgust when he spoke to the peasants. Disdain flowed from him like vomit. But he didn't deserve to be lynched. That was not the justice Saskia fought for. Prince Stennis I, son of Demavend III, became the 17th king of Edirn. He won the hearts of the people. They saw him as the hope of the nation. The realm, ravaged by war, needed a ruler sensitive to the plight of his subjects. King Stennis I was just that.
That was nice.
Good that you're here. We don't have much time.
Seems like we never do.
First, we have to get by the guards.
Leave that to me.
Be careful.
I'm always careful.
Ah. Defeat the soldiers. Oh boy. Right. I suppose that's just a banner of nothing.
The Kingslayer! Get him!
Might have tried to reason with them.
Easier this way. Trust me.
Path's clear. Can we go?
Yes.
Yeah, let's go.
Everything will be revealed at last.
Whether you like it or not, John Natalis, Temeria will be divided.
For the good of the entire North.
The united forces of Kedwin and Redania will end the fighting among the Elder Houses and secure peace from Gorsvelen to Ellender. At present, Temeria is starting to resemble the Pontar Valley.
Which, if I understand correctly, is currently controlled by Edirn.
You are mistaken, Radovid. Vergen is free.
Free? What precisely does that mean?
Lormark is not Kedwen's, and Edirn no longer controls Upper Edirn. We have rejected Prince Stennis.
King Stennis?
And handed King Henselt's army a resounding defeat.
Your forces, my dear lass, are nothing but a motley array of rebellious peasants and elven brigands. Sooner or later, they will need to swear allegiance to someone, or they will be defeated and dispersed.
The peoples of the Pontar Valley will swear allegiance to me, Queen Saskia. As an independent realm, we hereby speak in favor of reconstituting the Council and Conclave.
You're a lovely girl, but you issue from common stock. The sole crown you are worthy of donning is a wreath woven of wildflowers. Redania will recognize no other coronation.
In that case, you must choose, King Radovid. Will you carve up Temeria, or march on the Pontar Valley? Henselt, last of the line of the Unicorns, has sworn to recognize the Pontar Valley as a free realm. Philippa Eilhart witnessed it.
Philippa Eilhart is in my dungeon, awaiting trial for treason.
She was in your dungeon, Radovid, but is no longer. She will sit at my side in Vergen as my royal advisor.
To the matter at hand. The document describing the charter of the Council and the Conclave is, as previously ascertained, an exact copy of the charter found in the ruins on Thanet Island. The more important question relates to the Conclave and its power to designate royal advisors. Today, randomly chosen mages and sorceresses reside at many courts. However, in the time of the previous Conclave, such persons were carefully chosen.
Why shouldn't we pick our own advisors?
These individuals bear great responsibility, Your Majesty. The Conclave needs to be certain they are competent.
And that they will keep the Conclave's interests in mind.
Obviously, sire. The Conclave's chief interest is the well-being and prosperity of the Northern Kingdoms. The document has been signed by every member of the Conclave we have proposed, as well as by all but one of the designated advisors. We await only Sheila de Tanserville's signature.
Without our royal seals, you should be allowed to designate advisors to cowherds at most.
That is true, Your Majesty.
Sheila de Tanserville should never be allowed to sign this document.
Triss Merigold, you decided to join us after all.
De Tanserville has royal blood on her hands. She can't sit on the Conclave.
That is a lie.
Have you anything to support these claims, Merigold?
There are witnesses who will confirm that Sheila de Tanserville was behind the assassinations of Demavend and Foltest.
Officials of the future Council and Conclave. Sheila de Tanserville should be arrested and tried. If Triss Merigold speaks the truth, Lady de Tanserville will be condemned to death.
Sheila de Tanserville, until Triss Merigold's charges are dismissed or refuted, you cannot sit on the Conclave.
Arrest her.
You don't know the whole truth. Merigold doesn't know what she's talking about.
Doing this without potions.
Stand back on.
Or we will be doing it with potions actually. Just double click them. Let's see, vigor regeneration, or I'd say vigor regeneration for this. So, enter the dragon. Defeat the dragon. Well, by beating the dragon, we will be beating the Dragon Slayer too, so that's kind of funny.
You can't stop me, not you, not anyone else.
That's unfortunate.
If I have to, I will kill you.
Your dragon also belongs to the Philip Arlard. And it's technically also a sentient being. Ah, setting us on fire.
You're late. I've already managed to stabilize the portal.
You've got nowhere to run. Sooner or later, somebody will find you.
I prefer to leave on my own terms.
Where's Letho?
Sir Synthesis will tend to him, as she will to all the fools who get a hard-on at the mere thought of burning a sorceress at the stake.
Where is he?
I don't know, fool. I've been looking for him since Foltest's assassination. Letho cheated all of us. We were deceived by his dull face and sluggish stare. Don't you understand? The Lodge sought a way to get rid of Demavend, that's true. He was a weak, volatile king. Edirn would eventually choke to death under his rule. We chose the lesser evil. He had to be eliminated, and Letho happened to be at hand.
Foltest? Henselt?
We had nothing to do with that. After assassinating Demavend, Letho used our gold and magical support to find and meet Yorveth. The elf was to help him hide until the matter blew over, or so I thought. The Lodge did not condemn Foltest to die.
Then who did?
Nilfgaard. Letho is the king of liars and emperor of traitors. From the start, he worked for the glory of the great sun and the white flame dancing on the graves of his foes. He lied to everyone. Me, Yorveth, your stupid little Triss, and you.
Got any evidence?
A moment ago, I received a message from the Lodge's agent in Sintra. The Imperial Army is on the move. They're fording the Yaruga now. Do you think the North can defend itself in the current situation? But can you count on another miracle at Brenna?
I don't know, but you made it all possible and you'll answer for that. The stigma of treason is yours for all time.
We shall see. For no one will leave this city alive. No one will tell this story. Philippa controls the dragon. As soon as I disappear, it will turn the city into a flaming tomb. We may have lost a battle, but the war is just beginning. You, however, shall not take part in it. This is your end, Witcher.
Farewell!
Something's not right. The diamond! Someone replace the diamond! This one's flawed. I'll be torn to bits! Geralt, remove it! The diamond. Remove the diamond. I'll give you anything you want!
Let's see. Sure.
You waited long enough. Should you survive, go south to Nilfgaard, where you'll find Yennefer of Vengerberg. Farewell, Witcher.
Sure, she's a bad person. But... oh, shit.
Die.
Giving us anything we want? We got information where Yennefer is. And that's exactly what we wanted. Plus, getting killed by being torn to bits. That's kind of gruesome. Just like we were right. Nilfgaard were behind it all. Of course, having played this game and all of the Witcher games and many times prior, completely aware of it. But having the clues laid out made it so that, you know, anyone can piece it together, even without having beaten the game. You will, of course, suspect the Lodge because you won't be tying it together, but it's the game's intelligently made, and I give it big kudos for that. For the fact that, you know, you can actually piece it together if you just allow yourself to be critical of who's talking. And don't assume that there's a big dumb man. Okay. Can we throw knives at it? Not much damage, but we could. New tactic. And she sat on us. Me flailing like a big dummy. But that's just the way of things sometimes. Got potions, signs can't really be used against them. Quen at the ready, but that's merely just to protect as it's flying towards us.
Damn it.
Post I'm just bad at the game because you hit, don't roll away, and hit it anyway. Attack from the fire. So it always flies in the middle, it seems. Or she. So we know that it's Saskia. Swallow potion isn't doing much. This here the boring way. Boring? It's safe. No! Almost. But I have a plan now. It's gonna work. It's just, you know, games made for you to fight humanoid-sized enemies. That's where the combat excels. Fight like this, you can't really do much.
Damn monsters.
Since it's attack animations, don't really have any wind-up. Is his head behind or back? Snaps out. First shoot after that, go and boop her a bit. But, as you can see, she'll just boop you and then refire on you, which hurts. Like, hurts a lot. Did we do it? I think we did. Neat. I think I pressed the wrong button. Yep. And another game over. For some reason I pressed the A key because something in my brain went, he's standing to the left, so press the A key. Oh, but it saved just before, so that's nice. Makes me wonder why it even make it a thing though. It's because 2011 games. Oh, well, is that quick time events? I press the left mouse button instead of the right one this time. On the bright side, we, get to see the animations for this, in case you can actually coordinate your hands and your eyes. Press it more than once. A bit weird. It's a right mouse button. You never know how much time you have for it. On the left and it's pierced at the right. She's just punctured a lung, no big deal. That's a big deal. But, I should take us quite far away. See, we really have no reason. Killing Saskia would be for the sake of ensuring that the Lodge doesn't have her anymore, but Geralt, on principle, does not kill dragons. If she succumbs to her wounds from being punctured in the lung, so be it. That's what I would say. She tore herself free.
A list of the Lodge's sorceresses. A list of the horrors you'll help us find.
Wonder why they were burning Catwin soldiers. And we're entering the epilogue.
Are you all right?
More or less.
And the dragon?
Dragoness. Saskia's alive. Wounded and weak from loss of blood, but alive.
The spell is still working.
Unimportant. As long as Saskia lives, there's hope that we can break it. Besides, I don't kill dragons.
Philippa won't easily give up such a powerful weapon.
Triss, please understand. The last thing I want to do is slaughter one of the most beautiful creatures I've ever seen. Saskia is good incarnate. She's the exact antithesis of Eilhart and your former friends. They should be punished.
You're right. I just wanted...
I know what you wanted, and you're probably right in some way. But this time, logic and calculation are unimportant. If we have even the slimmest chance of breaking the spell and freeing Saskia, we need to try.
Let's get out of here.
I guess Letho got away.
He's waiting for you.
Waiting?
Where the Temerians made camp. Come on.
What do you mean, waiting? How do you know?
Utter chaos broke out after the dragon attacked. I tried to reach Philippa's quarters. A terrified man approached me in one of the alleys, gave me a letter and begged me not to harm him. He said it was for you. The letter was short. I'm waiting in the Temerian camp, Letho.
What happened here while I was gone?
All the kings had many more armed men than they should have had at a peace summit. During the evacuation, several skirmishes broke out. The Kedwenis clashed with the Temerians. The Order's knights raped 2 sorceresses and killed those who dared try to help them.
Do you think the Council and Conclave will survive?
Well, they're established, and that's the only thing that prevented a wholesale massacre. Hard to say if they'll survive, but for the time being, no one's got any better ideas. Mages are part of this world, whether people like it or not. They have to have their rights, their place. Otherwise, another lodge will arise.
Let's see our probably final level up. What should that go to? Damage reduction, why not? But yes, since we've reached the epilogue, I think we should just keep going in with one singular video to have the epic conclusion in one whole grand video.
I think he's coming too.
Oh, bollocks. The whoreson's in agony. Won't be long now.
Look at that. The cleverest of elven bandits, beaten burnt like ordinary scum.
This is the handiwork of some mage. I'd wager my wife on it.
You shouldn't have taken that trinket. You know they'll ask what he had on him.
And you'll not peep a word. Understand?
Hey you, piss off. We've got a dangerous prisoner here.
A prisoner? Did you capture him?
None of your concern. Buzz off, freak.
Any idea what happened to Roach?
Yes, Radovid tried to buy him off. I'm sure you can guess Roach turned him down.
Some things will never change.
Temeria might not be on the map of the North much longer, but as long as men like Roach are around, there is hope for its rebirth.
Don't pin that mess on me.
I don't intend to. You asked.
Piss off, I said!
I'm warning you for the last time. You asked for it.
Die!
You asked for it.
Can't just leave that to these looters who are sure he's a terrorist, but he's still a good man at heart.
Want to tell me what that was about?
It's Yorvith. I owed him that much.
I guess I missed quite a bit.
Yeah. Can you help him?
I'm sorry, Geralt. This was high magic. Treating him will take time, maybe months.
I'm gonna miss the Kingslayer again. Stay with him, Triss. I'll be back for you when this is over.
Geralt.
This is between me and him.
You don't have to.
I do. He knows how I lost my memory.
The magic shield came down when the deliberations ended. I'll teleport Yorveth out of here, far away to Vergen.
All right.
Take care of yourself.
So will she teleport herself away with him? Will actually play it out, or is she just gonna stand looking at him for a bit? That's irrelevant. Or... no, seems like she'll just be looking at him. The mage who did that to him was most likely Alhard, because alone he couldn't get a drop on her or something. A final bit of looting as we reach the dramatic conclusion of the game. Of course, we're on the epilogue, so climax has already been there. No, it's rounding up.
This is no place for witches. Though I know you, and you appear wherever something important happens.
True, though sometimes by accident.
And this time, also a coincidence?
Let's say I have something to take care of.
In that case, hurry. Once we're done cleaning up this mess created by the royal soldiery, Loch Muin will be magically sealed.
Getting out of here?
Temporarily. We shall return soon enough to rebuild the city. Loch Muin will regain its former glory. Until that time, we need to keep the treasure hunters and troublemakers out.
So Radovid trusts you?
We shall win His Royal Majesty's trust by delivering Sheila de Tansarville and the other traitresses from the lodge.
That could take a while. Sheila's fled Loch Muin via Megascope.
We have time. She cannot hide forever. Sooner or later, she will be ours. Forgive me, I must attend to some matters. And don't dawdle. The city will be sealed in 1 hour.
I could, from Geralt's point of view, to argue for and against letting Sheila die. But again, inaction leading to evil is worse than pardon, is worse than trying to do something for good and then, it turns out not to be so good. And I'm not saying that, preventing her death is good, but letting her die is just gruesome. And while Geralt would grumble, he would most likely say that. And then grumble some more. There we have the man of the hour, Lotho of Gollet, the Kingslayer.
Took you a while?
Is that bauble from Sheila's Megascope?
Mm-hmm. My final prank. I switched the diamonds. The one in the Megascope has a flaw. Minute. But just large enough to warp the teleport. The Emperor's magic theorists assured me the effect would be spectacular.
I let her escape.
You're heartless. You've no idea what the Royal Witch Hunters have in store for her. A lot of pain for a long time.
I don't doubt it. So, ready to lay your cards out on the table?
No matter the game, there comes a point when all the players need to show their cards. I love that moment. But first... vodka?
I suppose my throat's a little dry.
In that case, let's drink to old friendships. Recovered your memory yet?
Not entirely.
Remember how we first met?
Yeah, I saved your life. Couldn't think of a nicer way to pay me back?
Frankly, I couldn't. I mean, taking care of another man's woman, Yennefer. I can't fathom what you saw in her, but I suppose there's no accounting for taste.
The winter solstice 1270. Midinvern, the night of magic. Letho wasn't lying, the hunt had stopped. At the Hanged Man's Tree, the spectral riders selected from among those they had taken. Yennefer was among them. A wraith cannot be killed, only driven away. Every witcher knows that. Yet the riders fell beneath the blows of our witcher's blades. Crimson blood flowed from under their dead men's armor. We could not kill them all. They were simply too many. A stalemate. He was different from all other elves. There was no shame in his gaze. He had never suffered persecution. He had endured no massacres. Humans had not taken his land. This elf was not of this world. He was an invader. We struck a deal. My soul for that of Yennefer. He agreed without hesitation.
Back with me, friend. Got the feeling you left for a minute.
Memories. Remember the Hanged Man's Tree and the Wild Hunt. I remember the exchange. Me for Yennefer.
So, cards out on the table. Unless you chase me all that way just to kill me.
So, the Wild Hunt are not spectres. They are elves from another dimension. And they travel across dimensions to kidnap people. Take them as slaves primarily. But also for other reasons. And those other reasons are why they wanted Yennefer. Or Geralt. Now, their motivations entirely I will not disclose at this moment. But maybe we'll figure them out together as we talk to Leather.
I chased you for lots of reasons. You owe me some explanations to start with.
Let's say I do.
Start with the hunt.
How did you know where we'd find the Wild Hunt?
Every witcher who wears the viper around his neck knows the place. We had so many books and scrolls about the hunt that I used to think our school was founded for the very purpose of solving the riddle of the spectral riders.
Know who they are? You know the true identities of the riders?
From what I understand, they're some damn elven race. But they turned out to be a big ruse. The legendary omen of war proved to be a fairground attraction.
No Market Square mage could possibly conjure up a cavalcade of wraiths speeding across the sky. Then there's the amnesia. No, there's something more, I assure you.
Go ahead, enlighten me. I can tell you want to.
There are a lot of legends and myths about it, but the Wild Hunt is a fact. I've fought and killed many of its wraiths. They were spectral emanations, the avatars of real riders. The riders we ran into by the Hanged Man's Tree.
Are you telling me you were carried off by elves? Real material sons of bitches like the ordinary kind we deal with in this world?
They may be ordinary in their world, but they're strangers in ours. The conjunction of spheres. Know the theory? Do you know how monsters appeared in our world?
There's not a witcher who doesn't know that.
So you know there are other spheres. The most powerful of our mages can open passages between these worlds, and they usually do that to summon the monsters we then have to hunt. The elves we saw come from another world, and they weren't summoned. They found a way on their own. It's not exactly easy, so they usually send their spectral emanations. They come in person on special missions.
As they did for you and Yennefer. So, elves from another world and their trained wraiths. What do they want from you?
I've got an idea. But that's not your concern.
And what they want from Geralt. I can tell you this, now that we're at the end. They want to get their hands on his adoptive daughter, Ciri, or Cirilla. The Princess, Bandit and Witcher all in one. Because she is a source just like Alvin or Shax. I mean that she too can go between worlds, go around in time. So they wanted to, in the books, they at one point get their hands on her. And she goes to their world, really on accident, to escape from other people trying to chase her. And in their world, they try to use her to make her breed with their king, Oberon. And there are issues with that, but such as, her face might be, the comparison to make is that because they are elves, elves are generally more beautiful than humans. Fact. And there are some, with elven blood. But Ciri has this thing called the Elder blood, which is, the source of her source powers, which then also means that, she is a bit supernaturally beautiful, meaning that to the elves, she's got the face of an elf, but her body is still by all means that of a human. So the comparison to make to us, real life humans, is, you find someone, she's got, the head is 12 out of 10. It is perfection. Plus 2. But the body is literally that of a chimpanzee. Hair and all. You would not be able to maintain an erection. That's another thing, like series. The Elder Blood means that she's, a descendant from Lara Doran, which I think they've mentioned a bit so far. Like, she was just the most beautiful elf and person ever to have lived. So yeah, they want to get their hands on Ciri and try to use her as a breeding sow for their king to get the Elder Blood back into circulation among them, so that they would be able to more easily travel between worlds to kidnap or conquer. Meaning that was all there was to it. We want to kidnap and conquer because they are rude, or they're evil, really. They're bad people. Though again, of course, you can draw parallels to, empires in our world, in the real world, where they'll go to far off lands to conquer and to steal, to plunder and pillage. Why? Because they believe that they are better than whoever else is where they go. They're better than the natives. Therefore, it is their right to take it because they are better. End of story. Of course, they aren't necessarily better because they employ slavery. I'm talking about the Wild Hunt Elves right now. They employ slavery, and they are by all means bad people, as a general whole. At least the ones that we see in the books and interact with. Well, don't really interact with them in the books. You interact with them the way you interact with characters in a book, meaning you read about them and you get an idea about who they are, see what they're up to. But let's continue with all of these other things. So, why did you wait for me? What was it all about? What was the aim? We'll end with Yennefer.
Why are you still here? Why did you wait for me this time?
I knew you wouldn't give up. I knew you'd pursue me. And I don't aim to hide anymore. Fact is, only you know the truth about me, well, and a couple of folks whose word isn't worth spit anymore. I never saw you as a foe. I want to go my way, but if I have to fight you first, so be it. This story ends here and now.
Yeah. That's funny on a meta plane because we're at the end of the game.
How did a Witcher agree to kill humans at another human's bidding?
At the Emperor's bidding, Geralt. And he's no ordinary human. The rulers of the North come up to about where his polions end.
Why?
Simple. He promised to rebuild the School of the Viper, the Witcher's order where I came to be. Witcher's schools in the south fell into ruin long ago. And Witchers themselves became internal exiles, banned from entering most cities. Besides Seret and Ox, I know of 2 other Witchers of the School of the Viper who should be alive and on the path. I don't know where they are. Haven't seen them for years. Now they can come out of hiding. They can come home.
Emperor Mirvaimris does not really want to keep his promises like that. Or maybe he is. He does whatever he wants, really, but he's a ruthless bastard.
Care to tell me what it was all about?
Kill as many rulers as we could. Lay the blame on the sorceresses. Breed chaos. Prepare the North. Soften it before the invasion. And you know what's incredible? We could not have imagined more fertile soil. No matter what the war's outcome, the northern monarchs will accuse one another. Pursue their God-given rights. Seek vengeance and be at each other's throats for years to come. The North resembles a whorehouse on fire, as your friend Dandelion would say.
I need to know the whole picture. So Yennefer.
Tell me about Yennefer. What happened after I departed?
She was feverish for several days, delirious, in agony. We thought that was it. She was on her way out. Somehow she recovered. But even then she was disoriented. Amnesia like you.
What then?
Well, the woman turned out to be quite a character. Throwing temper tantrums, trying to seduce orcs, trying to drive a wedge between us. After you so nobly sacrificed yourself, we thought it'd be dumb just to leave her somewhere. She wouldn't have survived more than a month. The whims and vigor of a duchess, but she was just a sorceress with no memory. We were in the heart of the Empire. And as I'm sure you know, Geralt, in Nilfgaard, mages who behave like that either drop their bad habits quickly, or are drawn and quartered by horses in the middle of Victory Square.
So I heard.
So we set out, wandered through the provinces. Everywhere we went, she got in trouble and we pulled her out. And then one day they captured us. The Imperial Secret Police. Me, Ox, Serret, and Yennefer.
Imperial Secret Police?
Mm-hmm. We were separated, and they questioned us. Long and thoroughly, but it was uneventful. No violence. That's how I met Vatia de Rideau. And a couple of weeks later, the Emperor himself. Me. A simple witcher.
What happened to Yennefer?
I don't know. Never saw her again. The Emperor offered me a mission in the Northern Kingdoms. As for Yennefer, I had the feeling she was somehow important to Emir. As I see it, they learned of the Lodge from her. Those Imperial spooks have their ways. All I heard is that Vatir had his men watch Yennefer closely throughout the time she was at the palace. Then we went off to slay the kings of the north. That's where my knowledge ends.
So she's in the Empire.
She was when I left.
And it's been a while since he left, most likely. But we know where Yennefer is. In the hands of Nilfgaard. Sheila also knew and gave us that information just a moment before. Now that we are here at the end, let's finish this.
I'm done talking. Let's finish this.
Want to fight?
Any vodka left in that bottle?
A swig apiece. Here. The Imperial army is probably crossing the Yaruga as we speak. Pure pandemonium will ensue. The North's finished. Time to go south, where the good life awaits.
You're a fool, Letho. Both you and your Emperor are forgetting one thing. Misfortune brings people together. Very shortly, the North could be united like never before, thanks to you. But that's just not my concern anymore.
I'm not your foe. I never was. Let me walk away and I will. You'll never see me again. Force me to fight, and this time I'll kill you.
So, we know the full picture, more or less. I'd safely assume that Geralt's got 99% of his memory back, more or less. And, well, when Letho Assassin Emir offered him a job, or a task, a mission, Emir von Imris does not offer people anything. He demands people do something or they will get executed. He had no choice. He kept Yennefer safe. Granted, got her into the hands of the Emperor, but at the same time, he was out of his depth. He was he was too far deep in the end. And as he says himself, he's not our enemy. We've crossed paths with him. It's been a plot point, a plot element, sure, but he's not the antagonist. The antagonist, by all means, was Sheilard, and he's dead now. And Geralt has what he came here to find out. He's got his memory. His name isn't cleared, but what does that matter since war's about to break out? No one will care at that point. It's irrelevant. All he wants now is to find Yennefer. And that's what we're gonna do. Killing Lertho, that's gonna take time. And he can potentially kill us. We know how dangerous he is. He's as equally dangerous as Geralt is, by all means. And he might be even more shrewd and cunning, given his plotting and planning, whereas Geralt is more of a brooding piece of shit, really. But we love Geralt nonetheless. He's a great character, he's a great guy. Especially now that he's the complete character of Geralt. So we'll tell Lertho to go somewhere far away. No need, we'd have no reason to fight him.
I've learned all I wanted to know. I can feel the memories coming back. Your death won't change a thing. Go where you will.
Just like that. No threats. No words of wisdom.
Are you going or not?
Farewell, Geralt.
The Witcher had traveled far and wide in search of the Kingslayers. Along the way, he had met both the righteous and scoundrels, Bernard Laredo amongst the latter. Laredo sold Flotsam to Kedwin and scattered the local non-humans to the four winds. Flotsam became a military base. Its civilian population was resettled. In Edirn, the Witcher witnessed Saskia the Dragonslayer achieve a great victory. The Pontar Valley, previously Upper Edirn, became a promised land for outcasts who dared dream of freedom. Even sly old Zoltan Chive came to believe in this land of bliss. Yet dark times approached for the architects of the New Order. Dark clouds had been gathering over Temeria since Foltest's death. Stripped of its king, the land was like a rich cloth which nobles began to shred. These minor scavengers, however, scurried off in fear when true predators reached out for their prize. The summit at Loch Muin sealed the fate of Foltest's realm, when Radovid of Redania and Henselt of Kedwin divided it between them. Years before, Geralt of Rivia had witnessed the fall of the Council and Conclave of Mages. The summit in Loch Muin re-established both bodies, their founders sacrificing Sheila de Tanzerville and her accomplices. Yet Radovid also required humility and loyalty from the proud mages, but this did not sit well with all of them. It was a time of great uncertainty, of rape accomplished by royal decree. Yet as troubled as the day seemed, we, who had in some way shaped the world's fate, finally received some respite. Zoltan resumed the quest for his beloved's hand, and I laid my head in the laps of the muses. Who could have known this tempest which had ravaged the north was but a harbinger of darker days, and the preamble to an entirely new tale of Geralt of Rivia.
Read the credits to see the game's ending. Based on the prose of Andrzej Sapkowski, The Witcher 2, Assassins of Kings. So that ladybug scene, I'm fairly certain that if you spare a ladybug like that, you are granted a wish. You can just quickly look it up. Ladybug wish. Of course it's now folklore. Words. Symbolism. If a ladybug lands on you, be careful not to brush it off, stay very still and count the spots. The number of spots will reveal the number of months you will enjoy good luck. Yes. Protection, love, and all kinds of good stuff. But yes, The Witcher 2 Assassins of Kings. The second out of 3 games in the Witcher video game trilogy, at the time of this recording at least. The Witcher Tales Thronebreaker and Gwent as a standalone card game also exist. And there's a board game digitally as well. I don't count those as part of the main Witcher games. And right now I am torn, actually, because on one hand, it could be cool as well to let's play the third game, but it's such a massive undertaking that even just playing it ordinarily would require great time investment on my part. And let's playing it, it's the same time investment, potentially less, because I might be less motivated to do all of the side quests. Because, you know, it's a let's play, so gotta keep some sense of pacing going. Could also live stream it, but I don't know about that, because I feel like this format here I've been going for with the let's play for this game and the previous one. It only really works on the let's play. As a let's play, you can't really do that as a stream, because, well, both mainly really because of my prejudices that I have against live streaming, but something as slow-paced and thorough as this, it's not what you watch streams for. You watch that for, well, for the streamer. And sure, you might, if you watch from the start to finish both of the Let's Plays now, I congratulate you for bearing with it, all 100 and however many parts it is. I think it's between, let's see, we've got what? Good old, roughly 50 videos? Between 46 and 50 videos, I think, here in this, so 140, between 140 and 150 videos, more or less. Meaning we divide that by 2. Let's just, to know how many hours we've been spending together, roughly 75 hours. That's quite a bit. But I'll think about it, and you know, if Let's Play The Witcher 3 Part 1,000,000, parenthesis part 2 million, if that suddenly pops up, well, you know that I've decided to undertake the third game as well. I also have some grudges against CD Projekt Red and some of their decisions in the third game, that with patches and the second expansion, and basically the entire... well, many things in the third game aren't as good as the first 2 games. The combat is better than the second game, but the voice acting for... I mean, Geralt, they kept the same guy all the way through, but in the first game he's very wooden in a way, but it suits the character, and he still has times where he shows genuine emotion. The second game here, I say this is the peak of Geralt. This is how Geralt is supposed to sound. If you read the books, and, you know, just don't read it with a good old... You know, the original translations, let's see... But, you know, heartfelt thank, they have that to the friends and family, I like that. But no, like, if you read the books, the voice you'll sort of, you know, attach to Geralt, it's very close to the one he has in the second game. It's the best, I'd say. In the third game, it's just something went wrong there in the direction, or maybe Doc Coggle just forgot how to do it, but I doubt that. So I believe it's the voice direction that went with that. They wanted something more Batman-y, and it just makes it sound like a poor parody, and some of the writing for his ordinary dialogue is also mainly his investigative dialogue. It's just weird. Plenty of other spots too where the writing just falls apart. And in a way, you know, Let's Playing The Witcher 3 just to point out all of the things that are wrong with it, that could be a genius undertaking, because, I mean, I love the first game way more now after Let's Playing, because I discovered so many new nuances and stuff about it, because I actually gave it all a big think. In the second game, there was less meaty, great stuff, but the stuff that was here, it was very deep. So there's a good chance that a bit of it flew over my head and I just didn't notice it. And there's a good chance that I didn't dig deeply enough in all of it, but it's mainly Radovid's characterization and, you know, Letho's characterization really, and the murder mystery plot. Like, who's doing what? That's the good stuff. And then the story itself, it's a really personal story. The first game as well. I mean, all of the games really have a personal story, all 3 of them. The third game just drops the ball on certain points, and it's an open world game, the third one too, so that also means that, you know, it's less packed, meaning that you might end up forgetting, oh, what was I even doing in the main quest, because you just spent a week real time doing side quests, and then go back to quests. Oh, this is what I was doing. That's where, when it comes to, you know, the role-playing aspect, that when you know Geralt as a character, that you don't forget how you acted in certain situations, because you don't forget, how was I playing the character again? Because you're just playing Geralt, and you know, oh yes, Geralt would do this. And when you've played all the games several times, you sort of have, you know, scattered memories of, oh yes, the consequence of this, and, you know, these other things that have happened. Those consequences are on these, and Geralt's opinion of stuff like that is this other thing. But I don't know. The only thing that's keeping me from it is the fact that the third game is insanely massive, and it's a wonderful game, but as a continuation of the other 2 Witcher games, and, you know, as a love letter to the books, it fails. Mainly on the book half, and it's not the natural evolution of the first and second game either. By all means, the second game here is not the natural evolution of the first game either. It's, you know, the first game with more action in it, and then, you know, slightly more competent writers who did their own thing for the most part, but stayed roughly true to, or mainly true, to the works of Andrzej Sapkowski. Then the third game, they're doing their own thing entirely there, really, and I love the books, and I'd say I love them a bit more than the games, and then I love the first game the most, and the second game, I mean, it's close to me as well, it's dear to me. The third game as well it's a great game, but there's stuff about it that it just doesn't funk with the Witcher as a whole, if you know what I mean. But to round up this Let's Play and not talk about vaguely tangentially related stuff, I had fun again, and that's also why I made me want to continue Let's Playing a bit, other games maybe, because it's fun. I enjoy it. Even if few to no people are watching it at the time of this recording, it's still it's a fun time. It's a good way to appreciate games in a new way, because, at least the way I'm doing it, because I force myself to give it all a big think, to say it like that. But this game was shorter than the first game. It was less moments where I was thinking, yeah, this is some of the good shit. I felt that for Chapter 3, 4, and really from most of the first game. There was so much to think about and dig into, and even with the knowledge that I knew beforehand that the Eternal, that the Order were behind it all Shaxx was, but then finding hints to it, like, oh, this is cool, I can actually voice theories on it, because there's evidence for it, but it's loose evidence, so you'll be thinking, but is it really true? Can it be the entire Order that's behind it? And I couldn't remember exactly if it was like the Order was splintered into those who didn't actually know what was going on, and then Shaxx's stuff. But no, it was, of course, everyone. The entire Order was his tool, and so on. In the second game, I still feel like we could have spent more time with the with several characters, so there wasn't enough. Dandelion, Sultan, and Geralt himself. Geralt got enough time to shine because he's the lead, but the protagonist. But Yorvath, we barely interacted with him. We learned that Vernon Roach was a bastard, literally, kinda, and also the fact that awful person. But we never really, and Yorvath was, on the surface just a terrorist and a bad man, but then, underneath the surface he was an idealist and actually an intelligent and good person. But really, this game here requires you to have previous knowledge of the world and the characters to appreciate them, because then you'll feel that, they are true to themselves. But there's not really a lot of characterization for them, leaving you feeling a bit unfulfilled, because I'd have liked to know more about Yorvath and what his angle was entirely. I mean, we got it all laid out for us a bit, but actually if we had gone with Philippa and saved Saskia, we'd have prevented him from getting hurt. We'd have learned something more about him as well, I suppose. But Yorvath. But as it stands, we would have been an hour of content with him? That's not really it's in a film that's more than enough to now you know who that character is. But in a game, that's like 30 hours long-ish. You need a bit more to really get to know the character. Even Vernon Roach, I feel like he was a very one-dimensional character, really. He was a patriot, but a bad part. He was, a patriot. He would do anything for his country, including being an asshole, really. And Sultan and Dandelion, with my previous, the advanced knowledge I have of them, I know the characters and they were true to themselves, but you didn't learn much about him in game. So in the first game, we saw Dandelion. He was also a lot more active in the first game, which is more true to the character too, by the way. So here in 2, Dandelion was too passive, I feel, really, too. You feel like he was more just there, tagging along, rather than actually helping out Geralt, actually being his good friend, his best friend, really. And Triss, also very vague, a loose characterization, relying on you having previous knowledge to think, oh, the game's actually hinting at it and showing it. And Saskia, yeah, an idealist, and a dragon, but that's about it for her. And then Philippa, all of them really. And thinking about it, it's leaving a sour taste in my mouth. But I mean, I like the game; it's wonderfully put together. Though the combat is, even when used to it again, it's just mainly the lag of iframes. But that's, of course, a design decision. At the same time, for an action game with a dodge roll, usually players are accustomed to, there's slight invulnerability. Right, when the sword is going horizontally above you, and Geralt is rolling around on the floor, you'd think that his hitbox, at least, would shrink down, but it doesn't. And that's what's been messing with me the entire game. It goes actors and not voice actors. I think that's really, respectful in a way. This might seem weird, but I feel that there's quite a difference between voice acting and ordinary acting. But at the same time, it's the same art, more or less. The format is just different. But I won't talk about that much. Not now. But yeah, I had fun with the Let's Play, and I'd like to do more of them, really, but even if just one person watches it, I feel like, they got a good experience. I mean, I'm getting a good experience doing it as well. And, yeah. It's just, what other games could I Let's Play? Open to suggestions. Anyone watching this video before it's too late. With too late, I mean I'm already a Let's Play ahead. Maybe the third game, I don't know. Maybe Thronebreaker, that's also a wonderful game. The thing there is just... in that game there's plenty of great characterizations. I loved it when I played it recently, or sort of recently. It's been a while now. It was a fun game. Difficulty a bit all over the place, but good. It's still a fun time, and the voice acting in it carried it, along with the style and the presentation. Yeah. Anything else to say? I hope you enjoyed yourself, dear viewer, tagging along for the ride. I suppose that's what there is to say. I think the credits here are a bit longer than the first game too. Makes some sense, I suppose. Because, bigger game, production-wise, production values were through the roof this time around. Also, really a game from 2011. And the third game is really a game from 2015. You can feel all of the trends. The trends that are still sort of being followed nowadays, here in 2019. Partially because of The Witcher 3. That game affected the industry in a way. Did stuff to it. Mainly the open world thing, which, is sold like hotcakes. In the eyes of the common folk, it was a lovely game. And amazing in 10 out of 10 across the board. I still liked it. The world, the music, the presentation of the third game is through the roof. And the world to explore is also, it's beautiful. And the voice acting is, for the most part, above average. And the writing is also, for the most part, above average. But that sometimes just takes a nosedive, and then through CD Projekt Red's own, behavior, the game just... it's a sour taste in my mouth whenever I think about how great a game it could have been, if they just, decided not to casualize it, which is really the main issue. They casualized a whole bunch of stuff. Even this game, like Witcher 2 Assassins of Kings, there's some casualization compared to the first game, some streamlining. Sometimes it's all just, nature of the times. Same for 3, like it's the nature of the times that everyone should be able to play the game. But in the first game, nowadays people view this highly inaccessible and hard to get into. Sure, it's a bit janky, mainly the combat, but at the same time, the first game is highly intelligent. It's made for role-playing games players, made for people who play RPGs and love The Witcher. The second game here is made for people who like The Witcher, but also just for people who like action RPGs. I like RPGs, but it's leaning like it can pull you in with the action elements. Then you get pulled into the RPG side. It's not a full-fledged RPG. And the third game is even further away from an RPG. There's plenty of loot, but as we saw here in the second game, a lot of loot is not necessarily, necessary for the game. And the first game, loot was not necessary at all for it to be an RPG. Because you're playing the role of Geralt, or you could role-play him in different ways since he had lost his memory. The third game, spoiler alert, Geralt has his memory entirely back. He also had it here at the end of the second game, by all means. But like in the third game, you are playing the character wrong if you aren't playing Geralt as Geralt, I'd say. But the finale here of the second game, it's wonderful. Letho as a character, he is hands down, hand on heart, all of that, one of my favorite characters in the games. I think he's wonderfully put together, and you don't interact much with him, which is a shame, but you interact just enough with him to get a feel for him. And, then on replays, you really get to know him because you know what he's about. And in my case, I had, vague memories of, okay, yeah, he's not actually dumb. He's actually intelligent and cunning and clever and all that. But then, seeing it again in action, like, yeah, there's proper evidence for it. It's not just at the end you get the rock pulled out from underneath you and find out, oh shit, he's actually smart. No, you learn about it. And then Philip Eilhard going, no, he sounds like a retard, end of story. Like, that's suspicious. Oh yes, of course, she hired the man. She doesn't want to believe that he's, meaning that she'd seen him and his oafish cover. Propaganda, oh my. But yeah, he's a wonderful character. But I will, no matter what, at least I think, I'll play the third game soonish. Whether I let's play it or stream it, that's a different story. I could stream it, then also just, alternatively, if I were to let's play it, I'd potentially, do more than half an hour long videos because there's so much in the game. Just make it, one play session is one video. Like 2 hours in length, roughly, unless I'm really having a rule. Because my throat can't handle let's playing for 5 hours in a row, for example. And I'm always having a drink next to me, and I refill that throughout playing sessions sometimes. But mainly just to keep my throat not dry, and just because having a cool, nice drink with you as you're playing a cool game, that's nice. But yeah, I mean, of course, just do a good old what's it called, review of the third game, compiling notes and so on, like video analysis thingy. At the same time, I feel like that would be doing the game a disservice when I've been digging into the previous 2 games thoroughly, normally. I don't know if it's possible to just, stream, and then also, I could probably stream and record at the same time, even if it's that's weird. And that it's probably taxing on the CPU a bit too. and I'd rather like my CPU to not die. Even if it's quite young CPU, so I don't think it would suffer too much from it. But, you know, better safe than sorry, right? If there's a way to, you know, you stream, but you then grab the VOD or whatever, if you can do that without massive loss in quality or, you know, what's it called? You know, without massive loss in quality or without paying Twitch, the TV for anything, I could, you know, stream, and then each individual stream would be one part of the Let's Play, and then we'd avoid 1,000 parts. We'd only get into the, you know, triple digits, I think. I think I'll look into that because I'm interested in playing the third game again now. Even if I will end up frothing at the mouth and going, "This here isn't right, it's not supposed to be like this in this world." But it'd be interesting, you know, while the other two games are fresh in my memory and while I'm rereading the books as well, to just, you know, continue my witch's great witch's dream, so to speak. Also, just to complete this Let's Play project in a way, because it's a bit weird. The entire series is out, not the game series, but the Let's Play stops after the second game. Wonder why that might be. Though again, at the same time, the third game is absolutely massive, and there are plenty of design decisions in it too that I view as objectively wrong for an RPG. It's an open world game first and foremost, and an RPG thirdly, an action game second, I'd say. But I'll definitely play it. Whether you can tag along, that's a different story. Well, I probably will let you do so. I just need to figure out how I'm going to do it. Plenty of other games coming out, but and that have come out that I enjoy. But I feel like for completion's sake, I should let's play the third game, or at least attempt it. Worst comes to worst, I'll just end it because no, this game's too big. Even though it's a wonderful game by all means, and if you look, you know, the thing is this: I can't look past its flaws that are all caused by, you know, casualization, reaching a wider audience, and then of course, you know, to do that they cut out a bunch of details and stuff that. The books have plenty of good stuff in them, and I highly recommend you read them. I could also do a Let's Read The Witcher, but audiobooks of the series already lies out on the internet, and, you know, the point of a Let's Play is you, the viewer, you get both the game itself, you get to see it, experience that indirectly, or kind of directly, semi-directly, but you also get to hear, in this case at least, someone who knows about the game and the world and the books that predate the book, the books that predate the games. You get to hear about that, you know, how the big picture, meaning that my commentary adds to it. I can't commentate on a book I'm reading for you unless I record the pages and then, like, while reading it, comment on it, and because that's weird. That wouldn't work. Let's see, The Witcher game is based on the prose of Anastas Sapkowski. Indeed. The games are made by CD Projekt Red. Reaching the end of the credits. Wonderful, because I'm running out of things to say. I think I ran out of that 10 minutes ago. But I've been enjoying myself again, and I hope you have as well. It's been a wonderful time Let's Playing for you. And until we meet again, I'm gonna leave you with the final cutscene of the game. The ending itself. game. It's set to watch the credits to get the ending. Oh. The world as we know it nears its end, yet the past remains the key to the future. The Witcher 2, Assassins of Kings, Enhanced Edition. This has been me, and that's been you. Until we meet again, dear viewer, have a good one, and let's see where our adventures take us the next time we meet. Goodbye for now.